Game Time, our community-driven initiative, powered by our partners at Build Your Base, is in full swing. Throughout the 2023 season, we have hosted Game Time events in multiple markets across our national footprint. Our players, coaches, dancers, and Build Your Base professionals have met with families and youth throughout our communities, bringing fun and excitement, along with outstanding knowledge about nutrition, staying active, and the power of good food. Build Your Base has created and provided fun family cookbooks with priceless information presented in a fun way, complete with recipes to try at home with their families, and of course an autographs page. We will continue to hold Game Time events throughout the rest of the season and look forward to meeting and making many new friends. To learn more about Build Your Base and their comprehensive sports nutrition program, visit buildyourbase.org.
Welcome to the Rio Rancho Event Center. The first place Arizona Rattlers are in town to face the Gladiators. I'm Sebastian Noel, former Kansas City Chiefs wideout Daryl Stoneham, alongside nobody playing better football in the IFL right now than these Rattlers. And if you watched any IFL football last week, you saw the IFL's Offensive Player of the Week. Drew Powell put up, I think, the most impressive quarterback performance I've seen all season long. How do you try to begin to slow down Drew Powell?
It's going to take a team effort. We know Drew Powell is an MVP, a league MVP, a dominant quarterback, so I wasn't really surprised by his performance. That's Drew Powell-esque. We've seen him do that, or come close to that multiple times, but it's going to take a team effort from the Gladiators, and I'm looking for their new signee, defensive end from Michigan State. I know I hate to say it, a big Michigan guy, but I got to give him credit because I played against Malik Dahl at Michigan State, and I know he's one heck of a player. So I'm expecting him to have the early impact in this game.
Traditionally, the Gladiators have tried to make Powell beat them through the air. He's done that. In his career against the Gladiators, Drew Powell has 17 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. They all came in one game. The rest of the games were clean. Do they alter the strategy a bit because Powell has torched him through the air?
It's hard to contain him because he's such a great passer and he's such a dynamic runner. You got to try to keep him contained in the pocket and don't let him get a rhythm in his run game. That's what he feeds off of his passing game, is he gets in a rhythm in that running game. So if they're able to contain him in the run game, you might be able to contain him in the passing game.
One thing that they did struggle with last week, that was containing the screen pass and Justin Rankin. Now, granted, there's only one Justin Rankin in this league, but is that something the Gladiators, with Tim Whitfield, can exploit today, is try to attack that?
They have to. They got to pull out all the tricks to the trade today. The Gladiators haven't beaten the Arizona Rattlers in their history in the IFL, so I'm expecting the Gladiators to pull out some new tricks, some new plays, and trying to throw a wrench in there and pull out something different. You know, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting the same different results. So pull out all the tricks in the playbook and try to get out on the early lead on these guys.
It was a Gladiators game that started this win streak for the Rattlers. Arizona tries to push it to 5. The Gladiators will try to end the win streak just like it started against them. Kickoff is next.
I'm David C. Chavis. Just like you, we see
Welcome back here. We're just ahead of kickoff here at the Rio Rancho Event Center. Sebastian Noel with Daryl Stoneham alongside, just about set for the Arizona Rattlers and your Duke City Gladiators. Gladiators can't afford to lose any more ball games. Daryl, they are on the outside looking in. And of course, the Rattlers are in first place, courtesy of their win against Bay Area last week. But backs against the wall, really can't afford to drop any more games. Some notable inactives today for both teams. Braxton Haley, their stud wide receiver, injured in the last Rattlers home game, as was their outstanding linebacker, Cecil Cherry, who really has dominated since he's joined the Rattlers. That's the godson of Ray Lewis, and Cecil's out for the season. Notable inactive for the Gladiators is defensive back Dexter Reese, who's had some good games against his old mates, the Gladiators. That'll hurt, having to replace a veteran like Dexter Reese.
We've talked about that in games past, how much Dexter Reese means to this defense. He's the captain, he's the leader, and he's the glue that holds that back end, that secondary together. So I'm gonna need for Greg Dent to step up. He's back in the lineup for the Gladiators on the defensive side, and the rest of the cast to step up on the defense, especially defensive line. They have a tough task here today, trying to contain Drew Powell. So it's going to take a team effort.
And last week we talked about, during our pregame, we talked about how impressive the Rattlers looked. Last week the Gladiators, another loss in a game that they lost at the end, but it was that secondary that got beat on some deep balls last week. That has to be an area of concern for Coach Griggs. Gladiators did have a chance to win that game. Charles McCullum, the quarterback, just short of the line to gain the end zone, and that was how that game ended. Curious to see why Tim Whitfield wasn't on the field for that last play, but nevertheless, that's how the Gladiators lost last week. They got to get this thing turned around. McCullum, last week, again, the deep ball just wasn't there. And so at some point, they're going to have to stretch the field a little bit, right, to keep defenses honest, because if you don't have to defend that at all, how easy does it make this team to defend if you don't have to worry about a deep ball?
And we've talked about that since Charles has been here, and since the departure of Nate Davis. It's great that this team, the Gladiators, have established an identity in the running game. It's great that they established the rushing game and that they have an outstanding rushing attack. But it doesn't negate the fact that this is a passing league.
I know, he's dead.
Right. So we're just about set to go. Happy Father's Day, by the way, for all of you joining us here at the Rio Rancho Event Center and on YouTube today. So we're just about set to go. First to receive will be the Gladiators with Roderick Chapman back there to take this. Chapman has been a very good returning man this year for the Gladiators, and he's been an Iron Man back there. Really, he hasn't missed much action at all. One of the few that has been a mainstay in this lineup from the opener of the season to now. McInerney with the kick. It skips up into the hands of Chapman. Roderick across the 5, looking for some room at the 10, and he's brought it down just shy of the 15-yard line. That's where quarterback Charles McCullum will take over for the Gladiators. Charles is 82 of 134. That's a 61% completion rate. 20 touchdowns to go with 6 interceptions. He's thrown for 885 yards. He's averaging just a little bit over 10 yards a reception, and that goes back to what we were talking about, that the Gladiators really haven't threatened anybody deep this year. And you see the receivers in your screen there. Evans, Laughing House. Xavier Amy, active this week again. One thing I did notice in that game, Daryl, and we're having some technical difficulties with Daryl's mic. We'll get that back as soon as we can. But Xavier Amy didn't seem very involved with the offense. And when Xavier does touch the ball, he's been their most sure-handed receiver. Let's see if they get Amy more involved this week. It's on the ground on the keep for Whitfield in a short gain before he's finally brought down. So Whitfield on the carry, a couple yards, brings up a second down medium here for Whitfield.
I'm back, Sebastian.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Hey, shout out to our production team. These guys did a great job. That was a quick NASCAR turn of events there, but we got it all working. But yeah, Sebastian, you talked about the impact that Dexter Reese is gonna leave in his absence on the back end, and it's gonna take the Gladiators' entire secondary unit to try to contain Drew Powell in that explosive offense.
Whitfield, who was a little shaken up after that, he stays in there. McCullum will keep this on the option. Charles has some room on the wall, and he is just shy of the first down there. He'll bring up a third down and short. So good decision there by McCullum. And this option, which McCullum likes to run, this takes a while to develop chemistry, right? Like repetition. And you can see it's getting better every week, but there's no room for error this week.
It has, and it's gotten better. And we talked about the struggles that Charles had in his first game with the Duke City Gladiators. But once he got in the rhythm with the offense and developed that timing with his receivers and that chemistry with his offensive line, the offense has been.
Evans in motion. That one's tipped at the line. It was intended for Evans, and it's incomplete. They'll bring up a fourth down. Let's see if the Gladiators try to kick here or if they'll go for it on fourth down. No signs of the most interesting man of the world, Ernesto Lacayo. So Gladiators might be going for it on fourth here.
Oh, he's been eating that up on social media, too.
I see that.
His entire Instagram account is the most interesting man in the world.
I know. He's got the little music to it under now. He's
been eating it up.
See, and you said he would hate it because he missed a few kicks that 1 week we debuted it. Gladiators will go for it here on fourth. Wilson Brown in motion with Evans. McCullum looking to get rid of it up the middle, and it is dropped. Dropped by Brown. Right there on the coverage was Jermaine Dobbs, and that's a turnover on downs for Duke City.
And that was an outstanding play. That was all Dobbs. If you guys saw that play, that was a great pass by Charles McCullum. Great catch, hands catch by Gary Brown, but Dobbs did a great job of sticking his hand in there and raking that ball loose at the last minute to bring up that turnover on down. So that was an outstanding defensive play.
So you see the line on your screen. The Rattlers 11.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under was 104.5. And the Gladiators turn it over on downs. Something you can't do against this Rattlers team because 10 touchdowns last week against the number one, the then first place Bay Area team. Drew Powell accounted for 9 of them. He'll hand off to Gardner. Gardner on the edge finds some room, and it's a gain of 10. It's enough for a first down, and we might see a lot of that. The defense has been very, very poor against the rush, and that's something the Rattlers can exploit tonight.
And that's something this defense is going to have to do. They're going to have to try to stop one. I mean, we know the rushing attack for the Rattlers with both the running backs and quarterback Drew Powell is outstanding, and we know how great of a passer Drew Powell is as well. So if you're the Gladiators, you got to try to take away one and contain the other and live with the results.
Powell working on another MVP season. Powell will pitch it over. There's a flag down as McDowell brings down Yeager. Such a good start for Powell this year. 52 carries, 347 yards, 20 rushing touchdowns. Through the air, he's 102 for 150. That's 68%. 27 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions for Powell. And I would make the case, this is no disrespect for Edwards and Hilliard and what they're doing. But if you saw this team when Powell was out of the lineup versus when he's in the lineup, this is his most compelling case for an MVP award yet.
Exactly. It's a complete 180 difference, man. This team just clicks. You know, they roll and click on all cylinders whenever number one is in the lineup. And it's not just his athletic ability. It's not just his running and passing. It's his leadership on the field and off the field and in the locker room with those guys.
You heard those season numbers, right? How about these numbers? 67 for 91, that's 73%. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 48 carries, 313 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. Those are his 6 career games against the Duke City Gladiators.
Jeez.
Powell looking to pass. has some time. Now he's flushed, jumps and throws it away. It's an incomplete pass. Quad Davis and McDowell were coming on the pressure.
And if you saw that, you know, Powell's a little upset. He thought that was a late hit, but if you're the Gladiators, that's what you're going to have to do all season long. Every time he drops back to throw a pass, number one needs to end up on his backside. I don't care if it's a completed pass, incomplete pass. Every time he drops back to throw a ball, he needs to. The Gladiators are going to have to get some type of pressure on him and just kind of disrupt him a little bit. You saw it right there. He was a little frustrated, thought it was a late hit. So
see if he's got an argument. Doesn't look like much. He did not play in the last meeting between these two teams. That actually neither quarterback did. That was Jorge Reyna against Nate Davis. Second down, Powell. He'll keep this. Puts a nice move on McDowell, but then there comes a gang tackle as Dent was trying to rip the football out. But it's really hard to strip Powell of that football. He is the defending IFL Offensive Player of the Week. No surprise there.
That was a great job by number 12, Malik McDowell. And if you guys don't recognize number 12, I mean, he's a unit out there. The guy's
former Cleveland Brown.
And, you know, I hate to say it, but he is a former Michigan State Spartan.
That's what I hear.
I remember playing against him as well when I was at the University of Michigan.
He was a second-round selection in the 2017 draft by the Seahawks.
I believe we won that matchup, too. I got to hold that against him.
On third down, it's the Rattlers touchdown on the ground for Jaeger Gardner. There's a flag on the play. Let's check the laundry. Let's go down for the announcement here.
Illegal defense, number 20, lined inside the belt. The penalty decline results in play is.
It was Ricky Wyatt that was lined up inside the belt, so the touchdown will stand for Jaeger Gardner.
That was a great, strong, dominant opening drive for the Rattlers. As you see it here, just a simple read option. Powell hands it off to the running back, and he scampers to the corner for the touchdown.
McInerney is on to add the extra point. He was 10 for 10 last week on extra points. Starts out over one. Kick's no good. It's 6-0. Rattlers.
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
All right, we're back at it. 6-0. Rattlers first on the board here against the Gladiators. McInerney gets set to kick off here. That one's caught on a line drive for Chapman. Chapman has some room. Now he cuts back up the middle. A nice hurdle by Chapman, and he's going to get almost close to midfield. Another nice return by the Iron Man, Roderick Chapman.
Roderick's always good for a great return. Watch how he sets it up here. Starts right, and then boom, that plant right there with the hurdle. Great job of setting up that return and sticking his foot in the ground, getting north and south, picking up positive yards.
So back to work, the offense, the Gladiators, 64 touchdowns in 11 games. That's 13 out of 14th in the league. So the offense has been anemic versus the Rattlers, second most, 86 touchdowns in the league. Two in motion right side, they'll flip to Whitfield. Whitfield cuts back up the middle. Whitfield spins towards the middle. Whitfield still on his feet. He's hard to get down. And Merriweather slow to get up. Not someone that the Rattlers can lose during this push towards the playoffs. That is one of the best defensive players in the league that's down on the turf right there. Scary moment if you're a Rattlers fan for sure. Devontae Merriweather out of West Texas A&M. Fifth year with the Rattlers. He was the 2019 IFL Defensive Player of the Year. All IFL first team selection last year. 91.5 tackles. And that's not what Rattlers fans want to see heading towards the playoffs.
It is, and it's good to see him walk off on his own power. Maybe just a little shaking up there.
If you're just joining us, they lost Braxton Haley and Cecil Cherry last week. 6-0 on a touchdown run for Jaeger Gardner. That was his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. The Gladiators will try to answer after a nice return from Roderick Chapman.
And you know, you talked about the Gladiators being 13th in the league in touchdown, and that may sound bad when you're just looking at the stats, but if you look at what the Gladiators are gaining in that, yeah, they're not leading the league in touchdowns per game, but I know they're at the top of the league in time of possession. So yeah, they may not be scoring that many points, but they're in these ball games. They're not getting blown out. They're in the game, which means they're taking up a lot of time of possession, which keeps the ball away from the opposing team as well. So yeah, our touchdowns are down per game, but our time of possession is up, which keeps the ball away from the offense and, you know, keeps them from scoring points as well.
Now defensively, both teams have allowed an identical number, 77 touchdowns on the year. But where we really need to focus today is on the ground. The Gladiators have allowed 38 rushing touchdowns in 11 games. Not good, especially against a team that's quarterbacked by Drew Powell. And
that's the thing, you know, everybody in this league knows and respects Drew Powell's athletic ability, and I know for a fact the Gladiators do as well, as you know, like we mentioned in our pregame, you know, bit that the Gladiators haven't beaten the Rattlers in their existence in the IFL. So I know both teams are hungry, but it has to mean a little bit more to the Gladiators today if they want to come out victorious. Again, their backs are against the wall, facing elimination from playoff contentions, and they haven't beaten the Rattlers ever. So they have to want it a little bit more today.
McCullum back to work. Laughing House, Whitfield in motion. Whitfield is swallowed up at the point of attack by Connor Taylor. That will bring up third down. A nice play by Taylor. Take another look, Daryl.
Watch it here, guys. If you're playing the middle linebacker position and you're watching at home, that's how it's done. That's how you fill the gap, stick your head in there, face up, good form tackle, and stop the ball carrier in his tracks. That's perfect form, perfect technique, and perfect middle linebacking.
Right, third down here. Evans and Brown will be in motion on the right side. Now Whitfield flanked out wide on the left. McCullum back to pass, gets rid of it quickly, and it's through the hands of Evans. Is right there to make the hit was Dylan Winfrey.
And you know, Sebastian, I think the Kevin Guy and the Rattlers are watching film, watching game film. As you see it here in previous games that we call, what happens? Charles gets in a rhythm with those early short completions that turn into 10, 15-yard games because a lot of defenses play zone against the Gladiators.
Well, it goes back to my point, Daryl. If you don't have to defend anything down the field, it makes it easier, right?
Exactly. I think Kevin Guy, you know, smartened up, watched film, and said, hey, we're going to man these guys and force Charles to beat us with his arm and force these guys to make tough catches.
When you got a guy like Winfrey back there, that's easy to do. Dobbs was there to tip that one away. Great defensive start here for the Rattlers. They'll bring up a fourth down.
Every single pass is contested. There's no chance to catch and tuck. Watch it here. As soon as he gets his hands on the ball, it's the defender right there. There's no opportunity to catch and tuck.
I beg your pardon. That was a turnover on downs. I misspoke. I beg your pardon.
So now the Gladiators are going to have to play chess as well. So now they're going to have to make adjustments. Maybe run some rub routes, some pick routes to create that natural separation. Or just plain and simple, these receivers are going to have to work the defensive backs in their routes to create more separation themselves and make these throws a little bit more easier for Charles and make their job a little more easier with the catch.
Powell back to work here, second offensive drive. We'll have a receiver in motion on each side. He'll fake to Gardner. Davis coming off the edge. It's a deep ball, and it's incomplete. Just out of the reach of Jamal Miles as Powell took a shot there as both McDowell and Claude Davis coming off the edge. But he's still got a nice throw off. That's a catch usually Miles makes.
That's a catchable ball. That's a great throw by Drew Powell. But if you guys saw the end of that play, the two biggest guys on the field for the Gladiators just sandwiched Drew Powell. And that's what they're going to have to do, Sebastian. These guys are going to have to get a lot of pressure on them. And so far, the Gladiators' defensive line is getting home.
Davis had 2 sacks last week in his first action with the Gladiators. Powell back to pass, gets rid of it quickly, finds a seam right to Isaiah Houston. There was a lot of people in the area, and they all looked at each other confused. Daryl, watch the replay. Take us through it.
It's just a basic zone coverage here, and it's a great call. It's a great defense, but when you got a guy like Drew Powell who knows the offense, knows route combinations, and knows where the ball is going to go, typically before the play is snapped, and he's going to get the ball out of his hands quick. If you're getting good pressure like the Gladiators have been getting, you're going to have to resort to some type of man bump and run coverage just to slow those receivers down and allow your defensive line to get home.
On a low snap, Powell picks it up. Here comes some pressure from behind, and he's dragged down by Jimmy Thomas as Powell kept it. He made something out of that play, though.
He did. That's a great job by Jimmy Thomas. He stopped what would have been a big game. Like you see right there, Drew Powell had a lot of room ahead of him, and Jimmy Thomas did a great job of wrapping up those ankles and saving what could have been a 10-plus yard gain to looks like about a 2-3 yard gain there.
27 passing touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns for the league's most valuable player, Drew Powell. He'll send 2 in motion on the right side. Powell looking. Now he fires toward the end zone, and it's caught as Dent mistimed his jump, and it's a touchdown to Isaiah Scott.
I mean, this is just unexcusable here. I mean, Dent's right there. I know that's tough. You got to get up and make a super athletic play. But if we've all seen Greg Dent play here, which we've all have, he is one of the most athletic players on the field, period. And he knows, as you saw at the end of that play, that's a play he expects to make out of himself and that we expect him to make.
Here comes McInerney on to add the extra point. He missed his first attempt today. Second one is up and good. His 28th passing touchdown of the year from Drew Powell goes to Isaiah Scott, and the Rattlers are off early. Sebastian Noel, Daryl Stoneham back at the Rio Rancho Event Center. It's a 13-0 start here for the first place Arizona Rattlers, trying to push that winning streak to 5 in a row. This one takes a high hop for Roderick Chapman. Chapman with some room. Chapman spinning, and Chapman's across the 15-yard line as Miles was trying to rip that ball out of there.
Chapman did a great job of holding on to it. I mean, that's not easy to do when you're getting wrapped up by 2 guys and the third guy comes in there just ripping with all his might. That's hard to hold on to that football. So that shows that strength and that gridironness that you. And what did he do? He played basketball on concrete, right?
Football on concrete
on
in East LA. I'm sure. And Roderick, you know, it's Father's Day. He's got 3 little ones, I think.
He does. Happy Father's Day,
I'm sure
Roger.
they're all the little chaps are watching at home, you think? Or they might even be here. I didn't see them here, so they might be at home watching.
All the players on the field, everybody watching at home, everybody in the arena here tonight. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing fathers out there. I have an 11-year-old at home myself.
There you go. McCullum back to pass. Has some time. Flush down right. Now he's going to get rid of it. Throwing on the move. And it's incomplete. It's intended for Laughing House. Javon Jackson on the coverage. And McCullum was forced into the wall.
Yeah, I didn't even see the pass. I was watching McCullum get smashed into the wall. Watch the end of that play. He takes a shot into the wall. It's hard to deliver an accurate pass when you're running for your life back there.
Tell you what, Kevin Guy maybe wasn't so happy with the defensive effort last week against Bay Area. This defense has come out on fire against Duke City to start things here in the first, pitching a shutout so far.
And their game plan thus far has been perfect. I mean,
I don't think the Gladiators have a first down, do they?
No, they don't.
Xavier Amy on the field for the first time. They might get one with him out there. Evans makes the catch up the middle. Tackled by Winfrey right there on the short gain.
I think Kevin Guy's message to his defense this game was no yak yards. Every time a receiver catches the ball, you're either going to be right there to break it up or you're going to be right there to prevent any yards after catch, because that's exactly what all of his defensive backs have been doing. And, you know, you got the offensive line, 93 Jones, 91, 99 Love as well. I mean, these guys are getting good pressure on Charles. He doesn't have all day back there. And these receivers have no separation to catch and make anything happen.
Amy in motion over there with Evans. McCullum flushed, doesn't have time. Now he's wrapped up and he's down at the 15-yard line. It's a loss on the play for McCullum as that big front gets the job done.
This is what we were just talking about. McCullum does not have all day back there. And this is a tough task for this Gladiator offensive line. I mean, if you guys are watching at home, if Arizona's defensive line looks big on TV, we're here to tell you that they're just as big, if not bigger, in person. I mean, these guys are massive.
You got a guy like Ulrich Jones, that's an all-IFL player right there.
My goodness.
And he's showing you why. Chris Terrell leads the league in sacks. He's not even out there right now.
So, I mean, the Gladiators' offensive line is being put to the test here today. Let's see how they respond.
They're going for it again on 4th down. Bad snap. McCullum running for his life again. McCullum flushing. Still looking. Has some time. Now he gets rid of it. Floats it to Amy, and it's a clap for a touchdown. Xavier Amy with the catch and the score. We said it. When he's out on the field, he makes plays happen.
And he's showing you why right then and there. It's a flag on the play. Let's check and see what this penalty is on.
Was he past the line? No. It's illegal contact on Jackson. That's declined. The touchdown to Xavier Amy will stand. And that's the X-Men's 8th touchdown of the year. Watch this.
I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Charles. It was a bad snap. He made a lot of magic happen back there, extending the play, and gave his receiver a chance. And once you give a guy like Xavier Amy a chance to go up and get the ball, he shows you he does just that.
You have one of the best deep threat guys in the league. Amy, you got to throw it to him. And here comes the most interesting man in the world, Ernesto Lacayo, on to add the extra points. When Ernesto goes to museums, he's allowed to touch the arc. He once played a game of Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun, and he won. Sharks have a week dedicated to Ernesto Lacayo because he's the most interesting man in the world. 13-7, Rattlers.
I'm David C. Chavez. Just like you, we see terrible motorcycle, semi-truck, and car wrecks every day. We fight to win for you. I'm a top 10 nationally ranked injury attorney, but I'm still as local as red and green.
Fuego 505 has the best fired, exotic, and local meats served from the skewer or crafted into your favorite street taco by an award-winning executive chef. Come and see us today.
Gladiators on the board as Ernesto Lacayo is set to kick here. This is a nice job by McCullum to handle that snap, Daryl.
Yeah, and you guys know those snaps don't come back there like a loaf of bread. Those things are fired back there. So it's not easy to handle. He did a great job handling it, buying some time, and giving Xavier Amy a chance to go up and make that play.
But you see why Xavier Amy has to be on the field. He stretches the defense. He's one of the best deep targets in this league. He's going to go up and make those plays. You know, he's a multiple. You know, he played 3 sports in high school, I believe.
He did.
Played baseball, basketball, and football.
And I think it was just getting that rhythm and chemistry down with Charles McCullum. I mean, for majority of Amy's career, his quarterback has been Nate Davis. So, you know, just getting that chemistry and that timing down and that trust built between each other.
Lacayo on the deuce attempt. It's wide left. So the first deuce attempt for Lacayo is no good. And back to work because Drew Powell.
I don't think this is a scenario where you just make halftime adjustments. The Gladiators are going to have to make adjustments on the fly because the Rattlers have come out hot. I mean, every possession they've had, they've moved the ball down the field. They've, you know, pretty much had their way with the Gladiators. But you're going to have to make adjustments after each possession. Like you said, the defensive line, if you're Coach Fred Griggs, the defensive coordinator / head coach, you're going to have to recognize, hey, my defensive line is getting home.
Right.
They're getting back there pretty quickly. Let me bring my secondary up, play some press man coverage, bump and run, shadow, whatever have you, and try to buy my defensive line even a split second more to actually get a sack.
First quarter is in the books. We'll start the second quarter at the Event Center with the Rattlers in front, 13-7 when we get back.
Are you ready for Ram Truck Month at Malloy Ram in Los Lunas? With huge discounts and new trucks arriving daily. When you think Ram, think Malloy Ram in Los Lunas. MalloyCJDR.com.
Paletta Bar Tramway. Our palettas are high-quality pops and a delicious, healthy choice. Our refreshing flavors are the perfect treat for the summertime. Come and see us at 12501 Candelaria Road Northeast, Suite D. SIP means SIT, Albuquerque's dog training experts. We offer in-home dog and puppy obedience training. Contact us at 505-916-1748 to schedule a free dog training evaluation. Turtle Mountain Brewing Company, serving up the best pizzas, calzones, and grinders from our wood-fired oven, and handcrafted ales and lagers from our on-premises brew house, in a fun and relaxed atmosphere.
Second quarter about to get underway. Sebastian Noel with Daryl Stoneham as Drew Powell will go back to work. The margin of victory in the 6 games Drew Powell has quarterbacked his team against Duke City, 315 to 185. That's a 21.5-point margin of victory.
Per game.
I was doing my research. You scored in one of those games, Daryl. You scored a TD in one of those games. On the ground, no, that is blown up nicely by Thomas as they try to hit Gardner. And Thomas gets into the backfield for the loss there.
I think Caleb Holbrook was my quarterback in that game.
He was.
At the Burger, their burgers are never frozen, but always amazing. Check out the new location on 12th and
So that'll bring up second down. The Rattlers behind the sticks here. What amazes me, though, in that 6-game sample is just the one game he threw 2 interceptions. The rest he's been clean. Right to Houston. He's brought into the wall by Greg Dent Jr. on a short gain.
It was a great job by Greg Dent closing. Delivering a big hit on the wall as the receiver catches the ball.
To bring up a third down for the Rattlers here.
So it looks like defensive coordinator Griggs took that chess match to, advice, and his defensive line is still getting home, and now you see these cornerbacks and safeties pressed up a little bit more. If you see to the top of the field, they're playing press man coverage up top.
Low snap. Powell picks it up, gets rid of it towards the end zone. Wide open, and he overthrows his man. As it was meant for Lanier, and he had a step, maybe two on Chapman. But Powell, credit the pressure. It was Claude Davis again and McDowell. Powell had to get rid of it quickly, just put a little too much air under it. Take us through it.
Watch it here. He did have to get rid of it quickly, and those are the risks that you take both sides of the ball, both offense and defense. When you're playing that type of press man coverage, yeah, you might have one guy get beat, like Roger got beat there, but also you're getting that pressure and you're forcing the quarterback to make a very a very low percentage, completion. That's a tough ball to complete, especially with pressure in your face. That's the battle that both sides of the ball have to face.
Coach Guy leaves his offense on the field on fourth down. Powell, clean pocket, throws, it's caught. Great catch on the move by Josh Lanier for the first down. He's brought into the wall by Chapman, but that was a nice grab from Lanier. 6-foot man out of the University of Alabama brings it in.
That was a great job of going out and reaching out for that ball with his hands. But if you guys saw the route, and if you're a receiver watching at home, he did a great job of no wasted movements in that route. He didn't break down, chop his feet, and then break out to the sideline. He rounded it, speed cut, which limited Chapman's ability to recover and made it an easy throw and an easy completion.
Powell looking, gets rid of it quickly, dumps it off. Some room, still on his feet across the marker for a first down is Jamal Miles, but a flag came in. These other receivers have to be, you never want to see a teammate go down, obviously, but they know with Braxton Haley on IR, they're going to get some balls thrown their way today.
Exactly. It's going to be a passing game by committee. Braxton Haley takes away a lot of those passing targets, but with him out of the lineup, all the other receivers are going to get the ball more, and they all have their opportunity and their chance to show what they can do. And they've been doing it thus far.
We're waiting for the announcement. Here we go.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, number 8, defense. Penalty being enforced after this.
It's an illegal block on Cam Pruitt.
You have a legal block on defense with no interception.
That's what Coach Griggs might be asking here.
That's a head scratcher there. But I think this kind of plays into the Gladiators' advantage a little bit. Like I said, that defensive line is massive, and you put them up their heels against the goal line. I like their chances trying to stop this run, because you know it's coming. You know Drew Powell is gonna do something here in this goal line.
Powell looking, short side of the field, cuts back up and slices in untouched. Drew Powell's 21st rushing touchdown of the season.
Like I said, Sebastian, you know it's coming. Drew Powell to the left, gets great blocking by his offensive line and finds that little crease to scamper in the end zone. And that's Rattler football. That is Arizona Rattler football. Pound and ground the ball all the way down the field, a couple great completions here and there, and Drew Powell finishes it off.
McInerney is on to add the extra point. He's 1 for 2 on extra points today. This would make it 20-7 Rattlers, as the Rattlers are 11.5-point favorites on the road. And McInerney's kick is through. Powell punches it in. It's 20-7 Rattlers.
Upscale Burger is a locally owned restaurant serving delicious, made-from-scratch hamburgers and daily happy hour. Visit upscaleburgers.com for dine-in, takeout, and delivery.
Championship football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
August 5th, just around the corner at the Dollar Loan Event Center there in Henderson. Get your tickets for that championship game. That's a building, Daryl, that only seats 5,500, so I want to start thinking about buying your tickets now if you're interested in that game. Rattlers trying to get back to the championship again. McInerney on the line drive to Roderick Chapman. He lost it for a moment. Picks it up at the goal line, and he's brought down there by Jermaine Dobbs. What do you think? Rattlers right now, anybody playing better than Arizona?
Not at the moment. I mean, it's a lot of teams on fire right now.
You and I were very high on Frisco early,
yep.
Right? They're still winning, but they're not dominating anymore, right? And Rattlers have looked very good.
And that's, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what's expected out of this team. Either they have a strong season start to finish, or they struggle in the beginning of the season and they finish strong. But this team always finishes strong under the leadership of Kevin Guy, as much as it pains me to say that, but
yeah,
they do.
Yeah, he was having enough of that losing, right? Brought back some veterans, some stalwarts, but some injuries certainly haven't made it easy. All wrapped up is Whitfield. Big play made there by Chris Terrell. That's the IFL sack leader, and he brings down Whitfield there. He is a load.
A load, I'm telling you guys. And I know that the Gladiators are trying to keep it honest, keep the Rattlers on their toes from guessing, pass or run. But at some point, you got to open it up. You saw the first deep ball complete to Xavier Amy for a touchdown. Even if it's an incomplete pass, it at least backs the defense up, and that opens up the rushing attack.
Second and long behind the sticks. McCullum gets rid of it quickly to Laughing House. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Bring up third down. I think Coach Guy will let the Gladiators run this short stuff all night long.
Yep. And he will live with his defensive guys closing on the ball carriers, on the receivers, limited any type of positive yardage. And like we all said, force Charles to beat you deep down the field.
Because he knows when you got studs like Winfrey, Jackson, and Dobbs back there, you can send an extra man if you want. You can press up. Obviously those three thoroughbreds on the defensive line are going to do their job assignment-wise. McCollum back to pass, has some time. Now he'll try to fire a deep ball. And that was incomplete. Nowhere near an intended receiver. Jermaine Dobbs was closest to it.
And he had a couple guys open. You got to wonder if that was a miscommunication on the routes there. He had a couple guys open, including Amy streaking down the sideline. But again, we talk about that chemistry. We didn't quite see it there. It looks like he may have thought number 10, Laughing House, was going to break to the post, and he broke to the corner.
And I think it's a fair thing to ask. McCollum's a veteran. He's been around a long time. It's not the wonder that fastball's still there, Daryl. Right?
I mean, he's shown it. He's shown flashes. It's not like we haven't seen it all season long. Man, he's shown that he can still deliver a deep ball with accuracy. He can still run and pick up yards with his legs. He's still a dominant quarterback. But, you got to put it together for a full game.
Flag on the play. McCollum will go deep again to Amy.
Right there.
Incomplete. Intended man was Amy. Dylan Winfrey on the coverage. There was a flag on the play. That looked like a good ball.
I'm telling you, that was a laser. It was on the rope. Looks like Amy just caught a little alligator arms coming up against that wall right there. It just went right through his hands. You got to focus up and catch that, because that was a perfect ball.
It's a ball he catches 99 out of 100 times.
Exactly. I doubt we see another drop pass from Xavier Amy. But, I mean, that settles the debate if Charles can still get it there, because he certainly can.
Yeah, he heard me talking all that mess, and then he fired a fastball right down the field.
Right in the bread basket. You got to come in with that. That could have been a huge play for the Gladiators and a huge momentum swing.
But it's a turnover on downs, and this will be great field position coming here for the Rattlers.
And it's worth mentioning that the Gladiators' existence in the IFL, they have yet to miss the playoffs since joining the IFL. They didn't even miss the playoffs in the CIF as well, the last couple seasons in the CIF. But since joining the IFL, they haven't missed the playoffs. So you got to wonder, will this be the first time the Duke City Gladiators miss the playoffs in the IFL?
It's the third time they've turned the ball over on downs. Their previous play is under review. So we'll have our first challenge of the game. So I'm not sure, what was the announcement there? What are they challenging?
I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, you mentioned it could be the first time the team misses the playoffs, right?
That's got to be a disappointing season. I mean, like I said, if you go down, let's go through the breakdown of the season. You trade away leading quarterback Nate Davis, who's having an outstanding season with the San Diego Strike Force, and wouldn't be surprised if they do a lot of damage in the playoffs themselves as well. They're fighting for a playoff berth as well, but that offense has been a complete 180. I mean, their points per game is up, their touchdowns is up, Nate's numbers are up. So you trade away Nate Davis, you trade away, Cooper, you're all IFL defensive linemen. And you trade away other important pieces. Guys get hurt. Jason Serta goes down with a torn Achilles. Greg Dent has been out for majority of the season as well. So you wonder, is this a bit of a rebuilding process? Because you got a lot of new guys in uniform here.
But if this was a rebuild, and I get what you're saying, but I mean, if you're a rebuild, you bring in Charles McCullum for a rebuild, or does Charles McCullum come for a rebuild, right? A veteran like that doesn't need any part of a rebuild, right? Because if this was a rebuild, then Aiken or Croft would have been playing.
Exactly.
And so I don't think the organization looked at this as a rebuild at all. You don't bring in a guy with Charles McCullum's resume to rebuild.
And another thing with that, I'm thinking it was a rebuild as well. And you've seen Andre Sales and his fire start with Tulsa. I mean,
no, I haven't. I don't watch Tulsa games. Sorry,
but Andre, I mean, even last week against the Gladiators, he played against the Strike Force.
So the Gladiators challenged an illegal defense penalty, which they won. So that illegal defense offsets the Gladiators penalty on that play, and they'll replay the fourth down. So a good challenge by Coach Griggs there will get the offense back on the field for Duke City.
Yeah, I do agree with you. If you're in a rebuilding process, why bring in Charles? Which another head scratcher was letting go of Andre Sales would have benefited from learning from McCullum and been able to take over.
I don't think, you try to bring in Charles, sure. But I think if Charles thought this was a rebuild, I don't think he would have come.
Yeah.
Right, a guy like that doesn't go to a rebuild. So, all right, so the Gladiators will have another chance to convert this fourth. Remember, it was a ball just through the hands of, but this time they'll kick. So they'll bring on Ernesto Lacayo here. You know, Ernesto never wears a watch because time's always on his side. Ernesto taught Chuck Norris martial arts. And Ernesto has his beard listed on his organ donor card. The long field goal for the most interesting man is no good. The score will stay 20-7, Rattlers. a friend of mine right there, stand-up comedian in town, Ian Jamerson, proud Del Norte graduate. He was on the flex camp. Our director tonight, Josh Brown, we all went to school with that guy. He's a stand-up comedian in town here. Josh, if you can get him back up there, that'd be great. We'll talk about him some more, but we see some of the Gladiator faithful in attendance here on the Crunch Fitness Flex Cam.
Let's go, baby. There it is. Gladiators playing the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce for this morning.
All right, Drew Powell will take over again here. And that one's on the ground. No gain there for Jaeger Gardner. Another big play for Claude Davis. Claude was already amped up before the game, but then as the Rattlers were leaving the field during split field, I think Claude took a little exception to just how much peacocking the Rattlers were doing during pregame today, and Claude had a few words of his own. So I knew he'd be amped up today.
Yeah, and it may not seem like it, win and losses wise, but this is a big rivalry for the Gladiators.
Spun down. There was Gardner. It's enough for a Rattlers first, I believe, was the signal. Yes, it is a first down.
But man, this defensive line, you got Courtney Ledyard, he's 6'4", 270. Claude Davis, you just mentioned that, again, 6'4", 270. You got Malik McDowell, who's at least 6'5", 6'6". This defensive line is stout.
New set of downs for Powell. He was looking this way. He's able to get rid of it. That is the veteran, Drew Powell. Wow, what a great job to get rid of that ball. As Ricky Wyatt was coming down on him, he's able to spin out of the sack and then get rid of it.
It's almost Steve McNair-esque. Doesn't Drew Powell give you that Steve McNair vibe? Just his strength to be able to get through that, avoid the sack, and his presence of mind to get rid of the ball immediately. Like, as soon as he got rid of that, just throw the ball away. Live to fight another down.
I don't think he gets credit for just how smart he is.
Man, it's just a brilliant play.
Bring up a second down for the Rattlers.
But again, the Gladiators are showing you they're doing a great job of getting pressure on him and frustrating him in that backfield.
That's incomplete. Right through the hands of Scott. That's a drop for Isaiah, and he knew it. He was very disappointed with himself right away. He tried to turn upfield before he secured the catch. Watch it again.
You got to look that ball in. It didn't look like that play was going anywhere anyway, but again, you never know. You got to look that ball in.
Take a look at Drew Powell talking to head coach Kevin Guy. You know, you were talking about Coach Guy and his leadership earlier. And, he was preaching patience at the beginning of the year. Hey, we'll get this figured out. Got a lot of new faces, right? And that's what's happened. And then, of course, Powell back. That one is caught for a first down. A great catch by Isaiah Houston, local product out of Arizona Christian University.
And look, that's great coverage by Streeter. I mean, you can't get any better coverage than that. And he pretty much blanketed the receiver there, but Drew Powell did a great job of delivering that ball low and outside where only his receiver can get it. It's low, it's towards the wall, and only his guy can reach down there and get it. And that's, you can't put that ball in a better place, and you can't ask for better coverage either. That's just a great play.
Houston, a fan favorite, local guy, made the roster on a 2020 open tryout for the Rattlers. Powell back to pass. That's complete. At the wall. Across the way to the 19-yard line. It's complete to Lanier. And watch this one more time.
Wow, that's a hit right there.
You don't think Ricky Wyatt wants to hit these guys?
Man, that was a big hit there. But I mean, we've seen that all game long from both teams. This is a high tense game. Both guys talk a lot of trash to each other. And
Gardner, nobody there to make a play as finally he's dump trucked by Greg Dent. But what kind of room on the run there by Jaeger Gardner.
Great run.
This offensive line right now, they are just dominating.
And it's no surprise, man. These guys have been playing together for a long time. They've got a lot of chemistry built within each other. And if you play the offensive line position or coach it, you know the success of that offensive line isn't on size and strength. Yeah, that stuff helps, but it's the chemistry that makes an offensive line successful.
Powell will give to Gardner, and he's in for the Rattlers touchdown. As Gardner finds the edge. That's the third rushing touchdown of the day for Arizona. Second for Gardner.
If you guys are looking at the lines down there, the Rattlers are minus 11.5, and they're doing a great job of covering that spread so far in this game.
A friend of mine told me once, good teams win, great teams cover. McInerney on that, the extra point. So make it a 20-point Rattlers first half lead. And McInerney does add the extra point. Arizona Rattlers 27 and the Gladiators 7. Welcome back here to the Rio Rancho Event Center. All Rattlers on the start here, 27-7. They're covering the spread and then some. The over-under is 104.5 today. As you see Isaiah Houston on your screen. And they'll kick away from Chapman this time.
Gladiators should get pretty good field position to start this. With that ball going out of bounds.
Souvenir for that young man.
I think this is a crucial drive, Sebastian. 2 minutes left in the second quarter, nearing halftime. You're down 27-7. I think this is a crucial drive for this Gladiator offense. If they don't pick up a touchdown here, and the Rattlers get another possession, because you got to remember they get the ball coming out of halftime as well. Right. The Rattlers do. So this could get ugly really quickly for the Gladiators if they aren't able to put together a scoring drive right here.
Amy and Laughinghouse are in motion. Whitfield is to McCollum's right. He'll pitch it to Whitfield. Whitfield on the ground. He's finally dragged down at midfield. What a nice gain there for Whitfield on first as he was brought down by Harold Love.
And I like to see the Gladiators still sticking with the run game. They haven't given up on it quite yet, just to keep the defense honest, but also control that time of possession, because in a perfect situation here, the Gladiators score, and then halftime comes, and the Rattlers aren't able to get another possession before halftime.
Coach Guy does have all 3 of his timeouts remaining. Amy Laughinghouse will be in motion again. McCollum gets rid of it. Oh, dangerous pass. Laughinghouse brings it in. Dobbs brought him into the wall, but that ball was out in front. Could have been an interception there. Take us through this.
Watch this adjustment by Laughinghouse. 360 turn right there to haul that ball in with his hands and absorb the contact against the wall. I mean, that's just great concentration to bring that ball in, and I can tell you guys that is not an easy catch from experience. It's not an easy catch.
Saved his quarterback there.
He did.
Throw.
You know, that's receiver's job. We're here to make our quarterbacks look good. That's why we get the big bucks, Sebastian.
Is that so?
That's why we get the big bucks.
That'll take us to the 1 minute warning
dances.
Here.
It's all receivers.
Right? So 1 minute warning here at the event center in Rio Rancho. 27-7, Arizona Rattlers. All right, first play inside the 2-minute warning coming up here for McCullum. Charles looking, fires behind Xavier Amy. And that's incomplete. It'll bring him second down. Quarterback, receiver, maybe not on the same page there.
And that's what we talked about again. Xavier Amy is great of a receiver as he is. I mean, you got to be used to Nate Davis after years and years of that being your primary quarterback. So I think these guys are still trying to develop a little bit of timing and chemistry there, as you saw it right there on that misconnection.
So bring him second down here for the Gladiators. It'll be Amy and Evans in motion here. McCullum gets rid of it quickly. And got batted down.
Great play by Love, getting in the backfield, batting that ball down. That's not easy, especially for a guy that size. To be able to react like that at a ball coming at you that fast and
that's a big dude right there.
React in a split second to
6'3", 340 out of Bethune-Cookman.
Goodness, that's a big 6'3". How big?
340.
340.
That was before lunch. Bethune-Cookman, man.
And we've seen some of these rosters be exaggerated or no, he's spot on. That's 340 for sure.
Quick hands there. Brings up the third down. Gladiators will have to burn a timeout here to avoid the delay of game. Not the first time we've seen that, so a Gladiator timeout here. We'll be right back.
Game Time, our community-driven initiative, powered by our partners that build your base, is in full swing. Throughout the 2023 season, we have hosted Game Time events in multiple markets across our national footprint. Our players, coaches, dancers, and Build Your Base professionals have met with families and youth throughout our communities, bringing fun and excitement, along with outstanding knowledge about nutrition, staying active, and the power of good food. Build Your Base has created and provided fun family cookbooks with priceless information presented in a fun way, complete with recipes to try at home with their families, and of course an autographs page. We will continue to hold Game Time events throughout the rest of the season and look forward to meeting and making many new friends.
Out of the timeout, it's third down for the Gladiators. 52 seconds remaining here. Amy's in motion, Evans on the other side. McCullum has some time, fires at Evans, and he's dragged down. It'll be interesting to see where they mark forward progress. It's enough for a first down, not what Coach Guy thought there. He's pointing to the spot right before the line to gain.
And I think what Coach Guy is probably going to challenge here and what he's discussing is, yeah, when he initially caught the ball, his forward progress was a first down, but he bobbled it, and when he re-caught it, re-established possession, he was a yard or two short. So I think that's what Kevin Guy is discussing with the refs there. Once he really established possession, he was short of the first down.
I don't see him wasting a challenge on that.
Watch it here. That catch, okay, yeah. But then you got a bobble right there, and he gets dragged back down. I think that's a little bit short. So great job by Evans. Again, not a lot of separation, but great job of reaching out with your hands and having strong hands to haul that ball in, pick up a first down. That was a much-needed first down. 44 seconds before the half. The Gladiators need to get this one in the end zone.
Remember, the Rattlers will receive the second half kick. Amy and Evans in motion again. McCullum looking, he's hammered as he throws, and it's incomplete. It's going to be a late hit, I believe, on Connor Taylor, and then Evans got hit on the play as well as he collided in the end zone with Javon Jackson. They're both down.
You got both of these guys writhing in pain, grabbing their knees. I mean, let's hope these guys are okay. And you know it's got to be some miscommunication again on the route combination, because as you see it right there, Amy and Evans are right on top of each other. So you know there was some type of miscommunication on the route. And
Evans is back to his feet. Jackson, it is a roughing the passer penalty. So we're taking a look, but Jackson has not gotten back to his feet. He is writhing in pain. So he's holding that knee. Evans was able to get up, but Jackson, the 5'11" DB out of Duke, still down. He's holding that knee, left knee. Run that back one more time, guys, upstairs. See if we can catch anything on that.
Looks like Evans collided with that knee as it was planted on the turf. And if you guys don't know, those turf shoes have a lot of grip on them. So to have that leg planted on the turf with an extreme grip and get it hit while it's planted, man, that could be a devastating injury. So let's hope it's not too serious and hope he's okay. You watch it here, right? Watch that left leg right there plant, and Evans run right into it as it's planted into the ground. So and to see the way he's writhing in pain there, man, you gotta hope his ACL, his MCL, all those type of things are okay.
So we will take the injury timeout here as Javon Jackson still down on the turf for the Arizona Rattlers.
IBEW 611. Are you an electrician looking to join a community of highly skilled professionals? Look no further than IBEW 611. Our members receive competitive wages, comprehensive benefits, and ongoing training to stay ahead of industry advancements. Plus, we advocate for safe working conditions and fair treatment for all workers. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. Join the Electricians Union today and take control of your career. Visit IBEW.org. IBEW are supporters of the Duke City Gladiators.
Doesn't look that good for Jackson, but he's putting some weight on it as he's being helped back to his sideline. But that looked pretty bad, Daryl.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay completely, or at worst, it may be a sprain or something of that sort. But hopefully nothing major. Want to wish him a speedy recovery and send our prayers his way.
Play hasn't started here because Kevin Guy is still talking to the officials. Now we're ready. 40 seconds on the clock here. As Demery Croft, the former Arizona Rattler, is in the game here. This might be a quarterback keep. There's a flag on the play, two of them. Croft is in momentarily. There were two flags.
Touchdown, Gladiators.
See if this stands.
Looks like it's going to be offsides on the defense. I think this one will stand, Sebastian.
Flag came in from each side. Let's go down for the announcement.
Illegal defense, number 99. The penalty is declined. Resulting play is...
It's illegal defense, and it's a rushing touchdown for Demery Croft.
Great job by Demery of following his blockers. Josiah, number 75, number 50. Big Mason Newton did a great job of paving the way. If you follow behind those two guys, they'll lead you to the promised land, which is the end zone. Great job by Croft.
Here comes Ernesto Lacayo. Superman has pajamas with his logo on it. He once went to a psychic to warn her. His feet don't have blisters, but his shoes do. Ernesto is the most interesting man in the world. 27-14, Rattlers, 36 seconds to go.
Do you know what this spinning wheel on the side of your house is costing you? Now you can take control of your home's energy cost. With our residential solar solutions, there's never been a better time to save with solar. Save money, reduce your carbon footprint, and increase your property value with clean, renewable energy. Visit our table or scan our QR code for a chance to win a free solar system by the end of the season.
412careers.com. Are you looking for a career that offers stability, growth, and job satisfaction? Consider joining UA Local 412. Our members receive industry-leading training, competitive wages, and benefits that support you and your family. Don't just find a job, start a career in the trades. Visit our website or call us now to learn more about how to become a member. UA Local 412. 412careers.com.
Stoneham, it's halftime here with the Gladiators trailing in 27-14. That could have been a bigger Rattlers lead. That's the one positive, I guess, right?
100%. Again, a great stop by Roderick Chapman right before the half, holding, and keeping this score down to a 2-score game, because that easily could have been a 3-score game going into halftime.
9 of 15, 95 yards, a touchdown and interception for Drew Powell. 5 for 14 for Charles McCullum, 61 yards, a touchdown and interception. 5 for 14. That speaks to how dominant this defense was in the first half for Kevin Guy and the Rattlers.
And again, they came out with an outstanding game plan. They watched film. You can tell they did their due diligence during the week, and they came out with an outstanding game plan, which was get pressure on Charles McCullum, make it hard, shut down that run game, and press man the wide receivers. And their defensive backs have been doing a great job of limiting all of the yards after catch we've been accustomed to seeing by these Gladiator receivers. And Charles doesn't have a lot of time back there.
All right, I want to talk about 3 scores from last night, okay, Daryl? These are the only 3 scores I care about, because God knows I don't watch the Eastern Conference. But Frisco, the Eastern Conference team, 37-29 over Northern Arizona in a final there. I don't think you can count Northern Arizona out yet. You know I love that personnel group they have there. San Diego, we talked about the Strike Force, 59-54 over Tucson. Nate Davis threw for 207 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
No surprise there.
Bay Area 55-41 over Vegas. So that brings the standings. Bay Area goes to 8-4. That technically puts them a half game ahead of Arizona right now because Arizona's playing. A win tonight would put Arizona at 8-4. Tucson right behind there at 6-5. Northern Arizona at 6-6. San Diego at 5-7. Duke City at 4-7. Vegas at 4-8. That's the Western Conference standings. All right, the playoffs started right now. Who do you like?
To win it all, or the top 4 in that conference?
Well, give me one team in each conference. Who do you think is going to be there playing for it? Does anyone challenge Frisco in the East? I know some people are high on Massachusetts. I'm not.
I'm not. And Massachusetts is hit and miss. If they have a great game and a complete game, then yeah, it may be a competitive game against Frisco, or maybe they edge Frisco out. But we've yet to see Massachusetts put together a full, complete ball game. And I can't say if, and they haven't done it all season long, so I can't just bank on them all of a sudden doing that. So I don't think Frisco is going unchallenged. And as far as the Western, I mean,
all right. First of all, we'll talk West more, right? Because that's the conference we're in. So give me a Western Conference championship game. What do you think? Who are the 2 teams that are going to come out of the West?
I got to give it to Arizona's going to be there for sure.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you.
And it's either Arizona and Bay Area, or, and I hear me out here, I like the football that they're playing.
You're going to say San Diego?
I'm going to go San Diego.
I like that, okay. I'm going to say it's going to be Arizona, and I think Northern Arizona can straighten it out. I think their only weakness is at the quarterback position. I think they're the best receiver in the league in Ramad Shakyabon. The defense is very good. Good coaching staff there. I just think the weakness is at quarterback. I think if Garrett Kettle just doesn't turn it over and can complete some passes, that makes them a contender still. I like Arizona and Northern Arizona in that Western Conference game, and I do like the Rattlers to get all the way through against Frisco.
But you mentioned you don't like their quarterback, and this is the IFL, and you know, in the game of football, period, but especially in the IFL, you gotta have a dominant. Your quarterback has to be your top 2, if not your best player on the team.
But they showed you last year that wasn't the case. They won a championship with Garrett Kettle.
That is true. I hate that. That's an anomaly. How many times has that happened?
I'll tell you what, I mean, the Gladiators in the other league, right, they won a championship 2 years without a dominant quarterback, right?
Robert Kemp's one of the most dominant.
Okay, but
he's going to go down in indoor history.
But Caleb Holberg was not a dominant quarterback. They won a championship with him. Kent come in late in the season, obviously, right? So I don't know. I still am not giving up on Northern Arizona. But Bay Area, I mean, the thing that scares me about them is Rankin. You just can't stop Justin Rankin, right?
100%.
So I don't want to discount them. All right, one more before we go to break here. Most valuable player, right? We talked earlier in the year about TJ Edwards, and obviously we talked about Hilliard, right? Now they got boat raced last night by Iowa. Now you talk about a shock, right? But I think Drew Powell has to be in that conversation, especially because he showed you how important he is. When he missed games, this Rattlers team didn't look like a playoff team, and now he's out there. So I think Powell has to be in that conversation. Who are your guys?
I got to give it to Powell, man. I mean, he's just – if we're talking the very words that we're speaking, MVP, most valuable player, he is the most valuable player to his team. And, you know, just his status in this league, he's one of the most valuable players in the league. So just based off of those two, you know, conceptions alone, I think he's MVP.
Now, if Edwards continues to put up the numbers that he's put up, it'd be hard to ignore.
It would be. I mean, he's had a great season, but if we're talking the most valuable,
right.
We haven't seen the Frisco without TJ Edwards. And we've seen the Rattlers without Drew Powell, and we've seen them with him.
And we've seen it before, not to take anything away from Drew's other MVP award, but Nate Davis had a better statistical season that year, and he was not voted the MVP. So we could see that happen again, but this time to Edwards, right?
It could, and I think that's what we'll see. Now, granted, if Edwards just continues to pour it on and just continues to dominate, then yeah, maybe the edge goes out to Edwards and he gets it just to, you know, he's had a great season. It's a new MVP award. But if Drew Powell continues to play the way he's playing and Edwards continues to play the way he's playing, it goes to Drew Powell.
By the way, we do want to clean something up. We talked about Garrett Kettle, right, struggling. My point was that they didn't have a dominant quarterback last year. Kettle and Watson came over this year, and they won last year with his name escapes me, but it was not Kettle. But my point is, Northern Arizona proved that they can win without a dominant quarterback. I think that part remains, right? So, can that be done again in this league this year? Can you win without a dominant quarterback?
It's hard. I mean, like I said, it's hard to use that as an example because, yes, it did happen. Yes, the Wranglers won without a dominant quarterback, but, you know, they had a great team. They had an outstanding team all the way around. And it's hard to make that argument because we know what the quarterback position means in the game of football, let alone the IFL. I mean, your team only goes as far as your quarterback. But, you know, we'll see. I like the way this season's going. We have a lot of different teams and in playoff contentions. You're not used to seeing San Diego in playoff contentions. You're definitely not used to seeing Bay Area in the top of the division. And to see both of those teams in contention, man, it's great for IFL.
Right, and we talked about, we talked about the CIF just in our brief comments, right? That league's over now, so there might be a few free agents that do impact the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of great players out there, and teams like the Rattlers and all these great teams that are just one position away from being a full-on 100% full go. You got to think they'll take advantage of that.
All right, second half adjustments. Daryl, what do we need to see here if you're a Gladiator fan? The second half adjustments have not been good in previous Rattler games. Rattlers have dominated second halves against the Gladiators. So what do we have to see here in the second half?
Quarterback and receivers have to get on the same page on the deep balls. We've seen two misreads on deep balls. One where the receiver broke out on the corner, and Charles thought he was running the post. Another in the end zone that resulted in an injury to the Rattlers defensive back there. So these receivers have to get on the same page with the quarterbacks, and they have to complete the ball down the field.
The deep man is Houston. The up man is Jamal Miles, as we're just about set to go in the second half. And I don't think Jackson's going to return, because I think that was him that came back out on the second half field with the hoodie and the sweats, right? So I think he's done. I'm pretty sure that was Javon Jackson. So they'll have that position to figure out maybe during the week. Here we go, second half about to get underway with Lacayo kicking.
We
high
may have a deuce.
and over.
Oh,
and
it
yes!
bounces in.
And it bounces through for the deuce. Lacayo opens the half with a deuce.
That was huge. I'm telling you, the Gladiators needed that for sure. Way to come through by the most interesting man in the world.
When Ernesto drives a car off the lot, its price increases in value. Ernesto has a sandwich named after him on every continent in the world. And he can speak Russian in French, because Ernesto is the most interesting man in the world. The deuce makes it 27-16. And the ball at the 5-yard line for Drew Powell and company. Powell looking to get rid of it quickly. And he's got his man at the 10-yard line. And that's Pruitt driven with the tackle as he drives Isaiah Scott into the wall.
I tell you, if Drew Powell would have held onto that ball for a split second longer and saw his receiver number 7, Isaiah Hudson, streaking down the middle of the field, that would have been a touchdown first play of the ball game. But we talked about you asked me what type of adjustments the Gladiators should make, and I mentioned the one on offense, getting on the same page. On defense, they have to continue to get pressure and press these wide receivers so they can't do that. Easy completions for, 5 yards here, 5 yards there, first down. 5 yards, 5 yards, first down. They have to press these receivers up and make it tougher for Drew Powell.
Incomplete. That was intended for Scott. Maybe he heard Wyatt coming there.
It's third down.
That'll bring up a third down here for Powell and company. This is where they miss a guy like Braxton Ailey. Powell looking
I
up
told
the middle,
you, I
wide
called it. That was
open.
the first play of the half that Powell missed them, and they ran the exact same play, Sebastian.
Isaiah Houston with a touchdown.
It's the exact same play. He was open on the first play of this drive, where he took the hitch and he was streaking down the middle of the field wide open. I said Drew Powell missed him. They came back to the same play, run a hitch to the wall, and have your inside receivers streak it. Perfect read, perfect connection, touchdown.
Second throwing touchdown tonight for Powell, 29 on the season. And here comes McInerney to add the extra point.
Looks like Kevin Guy is seeing the same thing we are up here. His ability, I mean, you got to give it to the guy. His ability to make adjustments on the fly is one of the reasons he's a great coach.
McInerney bangs through the extra point, and the Rattlers add to the lead. 12:53 to go. It's 34-16, Arizona Rattlers. So the Rattlers add to the lead here, 34-16, early in the third. Second passing touchdown of the night for Drew Powell. McInerney will kick off here as Roderick Chapman's back in the end zone. Take a high hop for Roderick. And he makes the catch at the 6. Roderick's still loose. Finally, McInerney drives him into the wall. And that's got to be a flag for a late hit. You bet they're going to be upset when a kicker starts pulling that kind of stuff.
And that's going to be a flag. I mean, it's easy to be the tough guy when you're the kicker, when you're not in the trenches or you're not doing anything where you can get hit or deliver a blow as well. I think that's pretty cheap, trying to show you're a tough guy when you do nothing contact-wise in the game of football. So kick your ball and go to the sideline.
Right? Yeah. Look at that. I mean,
that's cowardly.
Well, that's a kicker.
Yeah, that's a kicker. That's a kicker. That's a great way of putting it.
You know, I'll tell you who wouldn't do that. Ernesto Lacayo, most interesting man in the world. I think they should double it just for him being the kicker.
You know, you do nothing at practice but kickball. You do nothing. You just kick the football. So stick to kicking the football.
Easy now. Ernesto might watch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
But he's the most interesting man in the world kicking the football.
Right.
He's not doing bonehead penalties like that.
McInerney stuff there,
yeah, that's bonehead play. Let's see if the Gladiators are able to capitalize on this.
Do you think McInerney is Irish for bonehead?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
A good spot here for McCollum in the offense. Laughinghouse and Amy in motion. They'll pitch it out to Whitfield. And Whitfield's hammered into the wall by Taylor after a short gain.
Connor Taylor's been having an outstanding game.
Yes, he has.
His ability to fill the gaps in the middle of the field, and look at the speed to cover from sideline to sideline. I mean, if he's not able to recover and get to the ball carrier, that's a big gain up the side of the wall there.
Bring up a 2nd and 7. This time it's Laughinghouse and Evans in motion right side. Amy set. He's the wide man out there on the right. McCollum coughs up the snap. Oh, what a recovery, one-handed by Connor Taylor.
Just missed it.
You mentioned Taylor, and watch this recovery. It looked like McCollum was going to be able to regain it, and Connor Taylor just comes in with one hand and makes the recovery of the fumble. We're going to look at it here in just a moment. Watch this.
I mean, yeah, he's just right there knifing through the middle of the field like he's been all game long, untouched. So that means a receiver probably would have been open, but we'll never know. He did a great job of recovering that and causing a turnover for his giving the ball back to the offense.
There have been 3 turnovers on downs. 1 interception thrown now, and now a fumble by McCollum gives it back to Powell. Get it on the ground here near us, and that is going to be close to the first down. I think it's enough on the first for Jaeger Gardner. How come you were hiding behind me, Daryl?
Hey.
You're the ex-athlete. You're the ex-NFL player.
There's no need to mention that on air. No one saw that,
I don't
Sebastian.
understand.
Why would you air me out on air?
You're the big.
Why would you air me out like that?
You're the big ex-NFL guy. You're supposed to protect us on that, and you're diving behind me. What in the hell is going on here?
Why would you air me out on air like that, bro? Come on.
You gotta look out for me, man. It's a new set of downs for Powell and the Rattlers here. 2 in motion on the right side. They'll give it to Gardner again. Gardner finds some space. Missed tackle out on the edge, and a few extra yards after that for Gardner, as the running game has been very, very potent tonight. The Gladiators have struggled against it all year, we mentioned, Daryl.
They have, and on that one as well, he's picking up positive yards. Man, that was just a lot of big people coming at us at one time. I had to. It's just instincts. It was either you or a duck under the table.
I was just bracing myself for impact, and then I see you behind me, and I was just
a lot of people coming at me at one time. I get out of Dodge. That's my job. Get the hell out of Dodge.
Powell has some time up the middle, wide open to Jamal Miles. Miles with the catch. It's enough for another Rattlers first down. They are moving the sticks tonight.
And it's almost like a lose-lose for the Gladiators in all these situations. They tried to play a bit of a bump and run coverage, and then, as you saw in the previous touchdown, they get burned deep. Then they try to give them some space and, play soft man, and now you're giving up the 5-yard completions, and 2 of those you get a first down, moving the ball all the way down the field. So, I mean, it's kind of, damned if you do, damned if you don't. They just got to figure out a way to slow it down, just slow it down and create some turnovers. If you can create a turnovers like the Rattlers have, now you're in a different ball game.
Well, look at Powell pull it out at the last moment, and he is in. Drew Powell, nobody better in the league at that. Pulled it out of the running back's belly at the last moment, and he goes in unbothered for the touchdown.
That offensive line, man, these guys deserve player of the game collectively. Look at the blocking, the receivers downfield, Seven Hudson downfield blocking. And I'm sorry, man, you're not just gonna, one man isn't gonna drive number 1, Drew Powell, backwards. He falls forward, and he did there for a touchdown.
It's the second rushing touchdown of the game. 22 on the season now on the ground. Here comes McInerney. Let's see if he can add the extra point without hitting anybody late here. And he does. It's 41-16 Rattlers.
I'm David C. Chavis. Just like you, we see terrible motorcycle, semi-truck, and car wrecks every day. We fight to win for you. I'm a top 10 nationally ranked injury attorney, but I'm still as local as red and green.
Fuego 505 has the best fired, exotic, and local meats served from the skewer or crafted into your favorite street taco by an award-winning executive chef. Come and see us today. Paletta Bar Tramway. Our palettas are high-quality pops and a delicious, healthy choice. Our refreshing flavors are the perfect treat for the summertime. Come and see us at 12501 Candelaria Road Northeast, Suite D. SIP means sit, Albuquerque's dog training experts. We offer in-home dog and puppy obedience training. Contact us at 505-916-1748 to schedule a free dog training evaluation.
There you see McInerney getting ready to kick off, maybe find his next penalty victim. It's 41-16 Arizona Rattlers. 8:43 to go in the third. Rattlers are more than covering that 11.5-point spread. On a low one. Just a nice hop, but right to Chapman at the 5. Roderick's been solid again on the return game. He's just sorry to get down.
He is.
They almost gets to the 20. Scott and Nasir Streeter got into a little bit of a shoving match after the play was over.
I mean, if you look at Roger, he's not the biggest guy on the field, man, but he does a great job of using his center of gravity to break tackles. And he breaks tackles from, like I said, he's not the biggest guy on the field, so all these tackles he's breaking are from guys, much bigger than he is. So.
Well, Daryl, he's Southern California tough.
Yeah.
He's East LA tough.
That's true.
Twizzlers and pickle juice before the game. The guy just oozes toughness.
Looks like Croft is going to get a go of the reins here on this drive.
Yep, Demry Croft is in here at quarterback. Usually you see him near the goal line. Looking, still looking. Now he'll fire down the field, and it's caught by Xavier Amy. Gladiators first and goal after the completion from Croft to Amy.
Amy gave the ball to a lucky fan. The rest needed that ball to keep the drive going.
Croft would love to come in here and light up his old head coach, Kevin Guy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Croft, a lot of history there. He was the quarterback, of course, in Tucson. And then he came over as the backup in Arizona. But him and Coach Guy had a nice embrace before the game. Croft going to keep this one himself, and he's through. It's a Gladiator touchdown for Demry Croft.
It's a great drive by Croft, and I'm looking over at the Gladiator sideline just to see if I can see Charles, if he's over there. Was this an injury decision or just a coaching decision? But nonetheless, great job by Croft delivering a great ball. and then finishing the drive off with a touchdown with his legs.
And that will bring on, well, maybe not. They're going to stay for 2 here. So we don't get an most interesting man in the world appearance here.
Yeah. You will on the deuce. He's going to go for the deuce for sure.
Gladiators going to go for 2 here with Croft. It's 41-22, 6.5 minutes and counting to go to the 3rd here. Let's see if they even get this play off. And they'll have to burn another timeout to avoid a delay of game. 2nd time in the game already that the offense has had to burn a timeout to avoid the delay of game. It's been an ongoing problem. We'll take the timeout and come right back.
Brewing Company, serving up the best pizzas, calzones, and grinders from our wood-fired oven, and handcrafted ales and lagers from our on-premises brew house, in a fun and relaxed atmosphere. Upscale Burger is a locally owned restaurant serving delicious, made-from-scratch hamburgers and daily happy hour. Visit upscaleburgers.com for dine-in, takeout, and delivery.
All right, 2nd burn timeout for the same reason, to avoid a delay of game. Now the offense is ready for the 2-point try.
Looks like there's a bit of miscommunication on whether they were going for the 2 or kicking it.
Whitfield fakes the sweep. Croft will keep. The hole stuffed up. 2nd effort. Croft stops short. Huge stop for Harold Love. As Croft extended the play, I thought long enough to get in. And then Love was right there.
It looked like for a minute he was going to get in, but my goodness, when Love gets a hand on you or gets a body on you, that's it. That is it. You're not going anywhere but wherever number 99 wants you to go, and that was not in the end zone, so that's a big reason why that try was unsuccessful.
41-22. We'll be right back to the Rio Rancho Event Center. Almost ready to go here. 41-22 is the score here. The 2-point try was no good. Jamal Miles is the deep man back for the Rattlers. Awaiting Lacayo's kick here. Miles with some room. Miles still on his feet, and he's brought down by Cam Pruitt, right short of the 20-yard line is where they'll start here, as Drew Powell will go back to work. Here's a question for you. How comfortable of a lead does this have to be for Kevin Guy to maybe get Jorge Reyna as backup into this thing?
I think they get another scoring drive and a stop. You might see Reyna.
5:55 to go in the 3rd.
They have a 3+ touchdown lead going into 4th quarter. You'll definitely see Reyna.
Powell keeps it again. Powell with the moves. Chased down from behind. He's finally tripped up, brought down by Claude Davis. But another nice gain by Powell in 1st. Maybe 9 on the play and bring up 2nd and 1. I want to look back at the games Powell has had. from a rushing perspective, they've really tried to limit him rushing. They've done a nice job. As a matter of fact, 3 out of the 6 games he did not have a rushing touchdown. He's never gone over 100 yards, but he's done it with his arm.
That too, but it's just those rushing yards, whatever they are, they come in the most opportune times.
You're 100% right. They come when they need them the most.
They need him. It'll be a 4th and 3, and he picks up 4, and he had 4 rushing yards the entire game. But he picked up that 4th down.
There's a flag on the play. And that's how Drew just controls games.
Exactly. So whether he has 10 rushing yards or 110 rushing yards, it's how and when they come that makes him so special.
It's a hold on Cole Carter, the 6'7", 300-pound offensive lineman out of Mississippi State.
I don't know, Sebastian. I'm looking at the Rattlers roster, man. They have some talent on here. You got, Alabama. You have Temple. You have Louisiana Tech, Fresno State, Duke, East Carolina. I mean, these guys, they're pretty loaded with some talent. Yeah, you got some NFL, Raiders. So they definitely have a lot of talent on this roster.
Low snap. Powell gets rid of it quickly.
Oh man,
what a hit up the middle. Roderick Chapman sticks Isaiah Houston, but Houston hangs on for the catch.
Man, and that's a perfect form tackle. I mean, it's head up. Roderick put his helmet right into the chest.
Roderick Chapman.
Hudson's going to feel that tomorrow for sure.
Adding to his highlight reel.
Gladiators trying to get the crowd into it. They're going to need a big stop here. Wow, right there.
How many weeks would you be out if you took a hit like that, Bill?
Yeah, I'll pop right up. You know me.
You hid behind me last time someone ran the ball.
Different. I don't have pads on, Sebastian.
That's incomplete as it skips in there to Isaiah Scott. Powell got taken down again on the pressure from Ricky Wyatt.
We can't keep bringing that up. That was a one-time deal.
Oh, it's not the first time
it caught me off guard, and I had like 8 huge guys coming at me at one. I ran. What was I supposed to do?
Something athletic. I don't know. There's only one person sitting in this box that played in the league. And I feel like the burden of responsibility to protect all of us should fall on your shoulders.
Played, ED. My time with the Chiefs doesn't save me when I'm
4th down here. Offense on the field for Coach Guy.
In a suit and tie with a headset on.
Powell looking to pass. Has some time. They're holding up front there. Still no flag. Powell finally lets one go, and it's incomplete. Intended for Houston, and it was Nasir Streeter on the coverage. Boy, they did a great job on Malik McDowell. He was trying to get through.
He was. And this was almost caught. I mean, that's the crazy thing. That's that Powell magic. You know, by all that time and almost come down with a miracle play there.
Turnover on down for the Rattlers. Gladiators will take over right at midfield here. Croft still in at quarterback after leading his team down the field his last time, and he punched it in for a touchdown. We'll send 2 in motion right side. Croft back to pass. He's hit as he throws, and Connor Taylor was right there.
I don't think the referees blew that play dead.
Yeah, that hit the ground. A lot of confusion here.
Got our head referee calling the forward pass. I mean, it looked like a forward pass from here. I didn't see anything fumble.
Here's a replay. It's definitely a forward pass. Yeah, definitely. That's a forward pass.
100%. Great job by referees. Once again, doing an outstanding job. They loved when we shot them out.
2nd down. Two motion again right side. Croft looking, still looking, has a man. Trying to find Amy on a little crosser. And he threw it too far in front of him. Dobbs on the coverage has been very good tonight for the Rattlers.
You got to wonder if Charles McCullum is all right. Is he injured back there? I'm looking on the sideline. I don't see him on the sideline or back there, so maybe he's in a training room. You got to wonder if he's all right there. He's been taking quite a few hits this game. You know, you guys watching, he's been getting slammed in the wall quite a bit here.
High snap. Croft brings it down, and he finds his man here on the near side. It's Evans with his first catch. Short of the first, though. It'll bring up third down and short. Or I beg your pardon, it'll bring up fourth down and short. Fourth and call it 3.
Again, the Rattlers defense showing you what they've been doing all game long, and that's not even limiting. Completely stopping all yards after catch for these Gladiator receivers. Every time they catch the ball, they're tackled or either the ball is broken up right then and there.
Another high snap. Croft brings it down. Now he's in trouble. Gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. It's intended for Laughing House, but it was over his head as Croft, the snap threw off the timing of that play, didn't it, Daryl?
It did, and I think the Gladiators were looking for a penalty there, like a face guarding, but that was just great coverage. But, you know, Love has been getting pressure all game long, and Mason Newton has done a great job, you know, slowing him down and limiting him. But you got to remember, Mason Newton, number 50, was our starting defensive tackle for the entire season. And with the injuries to the offensive line, he's had to switch over to offensive line. So
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFL National Champion.
A client of the law firm of David C. Chavez, LLC, was tragically injured by a distracted truck driver. His medical bills more than $5 million and rising. They immediately began the investigation, hiring the best experts in the nation, and filed the appropriate court action against a billion-dollar corporation. His life will never be the same. However, within 2 years from the date of the collision, their client was fairly competent.
Now back to live action here on the carry. It's Gardner on the carry. There's a flag on the play. Daryl, are you okay? You look stunned again. That's twice. I hope our cameras caught your reaction this time, because this is twice now.
Man,
as the play was strung out by us.
They got this whole field, and they always come right.
So let's see if you can catch the announce booth at the end of this play. I hope you can. Watch
Lord,
Daryl.
I hope you can.
Let's see here, right at the end. No, they're not going to see you, Daryl.
Yeah, you missed me.
Oh, look, there he is. There he is. Look at the left side of your screen. Look at how far back Daryl is leaning. Way behind me.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go down for the announcement.
Just protecting myself out here, Sebastian.
It's unsportsmanlike on the defense.
It's going to be on number 9, Jimmy Thomas, for the late hit. And now we're going to get another penalty on number 14, Claude Davis. This is where the Gladiators start to come unravel.
This has been a Gladiators' MO all season, right? Is these unsportsmanlike penalties?
Mm-hmm.
And Claude a little too amped up today.
They're going to call it on Malik McDowell, number 12, not Claude Davis.
So McDowell on the penalty there. So, you know, on a field that's only 50 yards long, 30 yards in penalties sure adds up. McDowell, the former Cleveland Brown, flagged for that. So now that'll give the Rattlers the ball at the 6-yard line.
The Gladiators going to have to hold it together, even if they're not the ones initiating or starting. You know, they just got to be smart and know that opposing teams trying to get you to react in those kind of ways.
Powell will keep it himself, and he's tackled down from behind by Jimmy Thomas. Powell almost broke free. Saw the hole up the middle there.
Jimmy saved the touchdown right there, I can tell you that. Great tackle by number 9, Thomas. Saved a touchdown by Drew Powell, but, you know, you can't help but think he just prolonged the inevitable there.
By the way, we don't think we'll see much more of Charles McCollum. Our director, Josh Brown, spotted him. Shoulder pads already off. Just a T-shirt over there in the Gladiators bench area, so might be injury related.
Yeah,
that'll be Croft's game the rest of the way. Howell on the right pitches out to Gardner. Gardner's kept out of the end zone as he's driven into the wall by Ricky Wyatt. About the 2-yard line. So
you got to think it's related to that play right before the half where Charles threw the interception. Got hit on the wall and then got pancake blocked by one of the Rattlers defensive linemen there. And we haven't seen him since in the second half, so got to wonder if that's related to it, if he has some type of upper body injury there with just his shoulder pads off.
Clock moving here, 41-22, Arizona Rattlers. We're coming up on 13 to go. Powell will send Miles in motion. Pull it. He didn't give it to Garner, and that one's wrapped up again by Thomas and Wyatt. Wyatt's been a playmaker in this league for a few years.
He has.
So it's good to see him out on the field for the Gladiators.
I mean, if you look at this Gladiator roster, they have some athletes, man. They have a very talented defensive roster in general. Like you said, McDowell with Michigan State and Cleveland Brown experience. You got Claude Davis. It's a unit out there. Greg Dent, Florida State. We talked about Reese being out of the lineup, but he's one of the captains in that back end. And you got the Iron Man and Roderick Chapman. So, I mean, they have a ton of talent on this defensive roster. 4th
down, Powell going for it again. Drew's on the ground, and he's wrapped up by Wyatt. Another play for Ricky Wyatt.
And you see the spurts of that talent in times like this. The play right before the half where they stopped them, to stop the Rattlers before the half, and then again right here.
There's another flag on the play. Look at Ricky Wyatt there, though. He's been making plays like that his whole career.
Yeah, man, this defense does show flashes of greatness. And you just saw it right then and there. But if this is another unsportsmanlike conduct, then you'll see how it shows the flashes of immaturity as well.
That's the second unsportsmanlike on Malik McDowell, and the former Cleveland Brown has been ejected.
Well, in his first career professional IFL football game, he gets ejected. So, I mean, it's not a way you want to start off your IFL career, your first ever game, and resulting in an ejection.
See him walking off the field, but unsportsmanlike penalties have been a problem all season long for the Gladiators. It's a new set of downs, 1st and goal for...
And he's been a huge reason why the Gladiators have gotten stops like that, so they're going to miss him on that defensive line.
So now Croft has to start this drive with his back to the wall in the end zone. Croft going to try to run this one out, and he does get to about the 2-yard line.
Just barely sneaks that ball across the goal line. I mean, this isn't, it's better, but it's not much better with this 2nd down coming up. If I'm Coach Guy, I'm sending the house on these blitzes and pressing my receivers and trying to get this safety. You gotta imagine this is gonna be some type of passing play. I'm pressing my receivers so he can't complete those 5-yard passes, 2-yard passes, screens. Press him up and blitz. See if you can come out of here with a safety.
All right, you had a prediction earlier. I'd say they send Merriweather on this. Devontae's back out there for the Rattlers. Let's see. No, they don't send him. This one's incomplete.
I almost reached out to catch that, Sebastian. I was this close. My instincts told me to put my hands out.
What was your excuse this time? I mean, that was a throw. So, I mean, that one's right in your wheelhouse, right?
My other instincts told me to get the hell out of Dodge.
Right.
That's what my instincts told me.
Amy was the intended man on the route, but it was overthrown. And if you're just joining us, we think Charles McCullum left the game due to an injury. His pads are off. So it's been Demery Croft the rest of the way here. It's 3rd down. Croft still in his own end zone. Look at that play. Superman Connor Taylor.
I figured they were going to go for it.
Taylor has been huge. And it's more Rattlers points here. On the safety. Watch that again. Look at that. Just hurled him in.
My goodness, man. That's just an outstanding play. But that only comes from, again, great pressure by your defensive line. But you aren't able to complete those 5-yard bailout, passes here and there when the defensive, the secondary pressures you up. So
we'll be right back to the Rio Rancho Event Center. All Rattlers.
Game Time. Our community-driven initiative, powered by our partners at Build Your Base, is in full swing. Throughout the 2023 season, we have hosted Game Time events in multiple markets across our national footprint. Our players, coaches, dancers, and Build Your Base professionals have met with families and youth throughout our communities, bringing fun and excitement, along with outstanding knowledge about nutrition, staying active, and the power of good food. Build Your Base has created and provided fun family cookbooks with priceless information presented in a fun way, complete with recipes to try at home with their families, and of course an autographs page. We will continue to hold Game Time events throughout the rest of the season and look forward to meeting and making many new friends. To learn more about Build Your Base and their comprehensive sports nutrition program, visit buildyourbase.org.
Welcome back to the Rio Rancho Event Center. 43-22 after the safety. What a play by Connor Taylor, the linebacker out of Louisiana Tech. He's had a great night for the Rattlers here today, hasn't he?
I'm talking IFL Defensive Player of the Week type of night.
And that's where the Rattlers show their depth, right? You lose a guy like Cecil Cherry, that would be devastating for any other roster. The way Cherry's been dominating. As Miles makes the catch at the wall. Jamal Miles looking for some room. Miles with a hurdle. There's a flag on the plays. He's finally dragged down across the 20. See, that was a clean tackle by the kicker, Ernesto Lacayo. Yeah. You see how it was a nice, clean tackle? Yeah, see the difference?
Take notes.
Yeah, take notes, McInerney. Nice little leg tackle there, nothing, Anyway, back to our point, right? Usually you lose a guy like Cecil Cherry who's been dominating for these Rattlers, and that's hard to recover from. In steps Connor Taylor. It's a hold, by the way, on Taylor.
Yeah, but that didn't take away. He's had an amazing night. I mean, he kind of has that Clay Matthews look to him with the long hair, and even on that safety, played like Clay Matthews, diving in there, going airborne to get a sack, making plays left and right, filling gaps, flying sideline to sidelines, tracking down ball carriers. Man, big hit after big hit. He's had himself a night here today.
I'm not saying this has been a one-sided game, but Kevin Guy's actually smiling on the sideline.
Yeah,
you never see that.
That lets you know it's been a one-sided.
There's timeout on the field. We'll take it with him. It's 43-22. Rattlers.
IBEW 611. Are you an electrician looking to join a community of highly skilled professionals? Look no further than IBEW 611. Our members receive competitive wages, comprehensive benefits, and ongoing training to stay ahead of industry advancements. Plus, we advocate for safe working conditions and fair treatment for all workers. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. Join the Electricians Union today and take control of your career. Visit IBEW.org. IBEW are supporters of the Duke City Gladiators.
Welcome back. 10:25 to go in regulation here. Powell back to pass. Looking wide open. Houston. Nothing but sideline that way. And Streeter knocks him into the wall at the 10. How was he that open, Daryl?
Wide open. You got to believe that was a miscommunications on the back end for the Gladiators defensively. There's no excuse to be that wide open. And, number one, to be that wide open on the catch, but to not have any contact until 10, 15 yards down the field, there's no excuse for that. So,
is this Powell's last drive, you think? I mean, you do not want to lose him to injury in a game like this.
I would think so. I would. I mean, I can't speak for Kevin Guy, but if I was the coach, this would be his last drive. If this results in a touchdown and the Gladiators don't score, this would be his last drive.
Powell back to pass, still looking, has some time, finds some space, fakes it, keeps it, and Powell's inside the 5-yard line.
Because you know he's going to do that. He's going to take off and run, and you don't want to risk him getting hurt in pointless minutes.
Watch Drew Powell work his magic here.
That's a load coming right at you, man. That's one big guy to bring down. It's a very special athlete out there.
6'3", 220, Livingston College man. Multiple MVP awards in the league for Drew Powell. Powell, quick pass, complete.
I hear
in for the touchdown.
I hear he has more popularity in Arizona than Devin Booker.
Is that true?
That's what I hear. He's the man in Arizona.
Let's see why. Let's take a look at another angle of this replay here on the touchdown pass.
Great rub route. You got one guy going in on the slant, your other guy breaks towards the out, creates that natural rub, just enough separation right there.
Jamal Miles the play.
Catch that ball, turn it up for a touchdown. I think that's it. I think that might be his last drive of the evening.
McInerney on to add the extra point. The backup Jorge Reyna is the holder. McInerney's kick is good. With 8:04 to play, it's the Rattlers 50 and the Gladiators 22.
Do you know what this spinning wheel on the side of your house is costing you? Now you can take control of your home's energy cost. With our residential solar solutions, there's never been a better time to save with solar. Save money, reduce your carbon footprint, and increase your property value with clean, renewable energy. Visit our table or scan our QR code for a chance to win a free solar system by the end of the season.
412careers.com. Are you looking for a career that offers stability, growth, and job satisfaction? Consider joining UA Local 412. Our members receive industry-leading training, competitive wages, and benefits that support you and your family. Don't just find a job, start a career in the trades. Visit our website or call us now to learn more about how to become a member. UA Local 412, 412careers.com.
We're back here, and I was looking over at the other sideline, and it does look like that should be it for Drew Powell. As these Rattlers will move to 8-4. They'll join Bay Area at the top of the Western Conference. That one hops up to Roderick Chapman. Chapman looking for some room. Can't find it. He's dragged down at the 10. Forward yard progress at the 15. And the Gladiators will be at home again next week. We'll get another former MVP in here, Daquan Neal and the Vegas Nighthawks, but the Nighthawks have been struggling. Both those teams will be 4-8 next week, so that'll be the two last place teams playing. And maybe a little more interesting matchup is what Arizona's looking forward to. They'll get San Diego.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup. Can
Nate Davis get his first win against Kevin Guy, but in a different uniform for the San Diego Strike Force?
I think he's got a great shot. It all depends on the Strike Force's defense. We know their offense. We know what Nate Davis is going to do. We know what the Rattlers offense and Drew Powell is going to do. It's going to come down to the defenses, and particularly the Strike Force defense.
Croft back out there in place of the injured McCollum. Another high snap. Here comes pressure. Croft able to step through it, and a short gain on the play as again they sent Connor Taylor, who's been so good tonight.
I keep sending it. Just keep adding to the outstanding night he's been having all game long.
Bring up the second down. Is San Diego sitting at 5-7? That would be an important win if they could get it against the Rattlers. And you have to wonder, Javon Jackson, if he'll be available next week. Obviously, those big injuries to Haley and Cecil Cherry. I'll tell you what, though, Taylor's looks so good. There he goes again. Taylor again makes him get rid of it quickly. That one's incomplete, as Evans and Croft are not on the same page there.
Yeah, you can see
his offense just looks lost.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
not on the same page at all. Evans is telling Croft he was going to stop. Croft thought he was going to continue to go towards the wall on the out. Just not on the same page there, and resulted in that. Luckily, it didn't result in an interception. That could have been a.
Yeah, Dylan Winfrey was over there.
That could have been an easy interception, but you guys just got to get on the same page. But I know it doesn't look good. You're down 50-22, but you know the MO of this team is you don't quit. And these guys got to keep fighting.
Third down. Here comes that man again. Taylor's there to wrap up Croft. Connor Taylor.
At some point, if you're Croft, you just got to let it loose. I mean, you're down 50-22. You don't have much to. I mean, your playoff hopes are on the line. I mean, you're losing. This is your if you don't win this game, it's over. So just go for it. Let it loose.
I was doing my Jim Mora there.
Like, you want to talk to me about playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs. That'll ring up the fourth.
There's no point in continue to eat sacks. At this point, throw an interception. At least you're trying to get rid of the ball. Like, just let it loose.
That'll bring up Ernesto Lacayo, the world's most interesting man. Ernesto's so interesting. His mother has a tattoo that says son. His pillow is cool on both sides. And when Ernesto makes the trip to Spain, he chases the Bulls. Ernesto Lacayo is the most interesting man in the world. Long field goal attempt here. Wide right, and it's a returnable ball for Jamal Miles. Miles looking for some room. Miles cuts back up the middle. Miles still on his feet. Miles has a couple more men to beat, and he will for a touchdown. Jamal Miles with a score.
You won't mention it, you won't even see it or notice, but number 8, Merriweather, had an outstanding block on Mikhail. And you see Drew Powell noticing it and giving him a lot of credit for it. But
What a return.
Watch the missed kick here.
You watch over the shoulder of Kevin Guy here, this play developed.
Miles does a great job, but look at the cuts full speed right there. And then watch number 8, Merriweather, right there, just to get that block to spring them for the touchdown. Outstanding return by Miles.
That makes it 56-22. McInerney on to add the extra point. Reyna is the holder here for McInerney.
Somebody get Jose Reyna a quarterback towel.
Is that a beach towel?
I don't know. It's got to be a beach
towel.
towel. Somebody get him a quarterback towel, please.
McInerney's kick is through. With 3 minutes to go in the third, it's all Rattlers in this one.
Maria Ramirez?
Hi. Maria Ramirez.
Maria Ramirez.
McDonald's is committing $150 million in tuition assistance, education, and career advising programs
Maria Ramirez.
to help more employees achieve their dreams.
National Championship Football in Vegas. The Dollar Loan Center Indoor Football League National Championship. The best indoor football in the world in Vegas. August 5th at the Dollar Loan Center. The best in the country collide, and a national champion will be crowned. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours at IFLNationalChampionship.com.
Back at it here. McInerney will kick it off here. 3 minutes to go in this one, 56-22. The up man Evans will have his chance at a turn here. And it's going backwards fast as Scott makes the play. Man, if you were an over better today, though, 104.5, that's not going to hit.
Not even close.
But that was a weird number when it came out. If you look at all their previous, again, the average score is right around 53-31 when these two teams play, and it's pretty similar to that here. So when I saw that 104.5 come out, I was a little surprised. I thought that was a little high. Of course, we should mention betting online here in New Mexico not available. So
it is
not. I just had to scratch my head.
Unfortunately, it is not. Let it loose, young man.
Croft going to keep it himself. And Loft brought him into the wall there. He could have really made him feel it if he wanted to.
Love talking a little trash to the fans here. He's smiling though. It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
I think he told that lady he wanted to show her Space Mountain.
The fans are laughing. He's laughing. It's all in good fun. But I mean,
that's a big dude.
Croft has to let it go. I mean, I know it's not in the ideal situations, but just get rid of the ball.
Oh, there's that big fella again. Love got his hands on one.
Almost came down with an interception.
And his teammates are letting him hear it right now. By the way, after the game, we'll try to talk to the player of the game. We'll see if we can get a word with Coach Guy, but that's usually doesn't happen. Boy, as the Rattlers finish off this one here, Croft on third down. He's going to keep this one himself. You got to hand it to the Rattlers and Coach Guy. This is when you want to be. This is when you want to be peaking.
Yeah.
There is nobody playing better football in this league right now.
They picked the perfect time to turn it on. That's for sure.
That will bring us to the 1 minute warning with the Rattlers in front, 56-22. Sebastian Hull, Daryl Stoneham back for the final minute of this one here at the Rio Rancho Event Center. 57-22 is the score. We got that corrected during the break here. Fourth down, Croft will let it go, and it's caught. Touchdown for Laughing House.
Great job. That's an outstanding job by Laughing House of using that size. Man, they got the guys listed at, what, 6'3", 6'4". He's 6'2", 185 pounds, and he uses all of that height to go up there and go high point that ball for the touchdown. And you gotta scratch your head and question, like, why haven't they been giving guys like Amy and Laughing House these tall receivers, athletic receivers that are much taller and athletic than the Rattlers defensive backs? Just give them a chance to go up and make an athletic play on the football. Clearly the running game wasn't working. The short passes weren't there. Yeah, you're getting press coverage, but a lot of receivers get press coverage. Not every single catch is going to be wide open, easy catches. Go up and make a play on the ball, and we didn't see a lot of those opportunities for these receivers today.
Gladiators will go for two here. Croft, and that's incomplete. Flag on the play. It was intended for Amy. As we preview next week's game, Daryl, Vegas has not been playing good football.
They haven't. But they are bringing former MVP.
Well, he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing much either, so they have a lot of injuries there too. So, but you have to wonder if the Gladiators will still be in playoff contention by next week, and if they are not, you have to wonder what this roster will look like next week.
You gotta wonder, even if they are, is Charles McCullum? How is he doing? If he'll be back and able to play with that injury he suffered today. So a lot of question marks here for the Gladiators after this game, but time will tell.
All right, another try at this two-point conversion here for Croft. Little juke move for Demery, and he stood up. Did he break the plane? No. We're going to say he was short.
Just short.
No signal yet, but he was short of the plane there. We'll take a timeout, come right back for the final 54 seconds as you take one more look at Croft just short on a two-point try. Kyle set to kick off here. 54 seconds remaining in this one. All Rattlers from the get-go tonight. And the Gladiators still in search of their first ever franchise win against the measuring stick, the Arizona Rattlers. It was a tough little knuckleball there, and Miles has to get it out of the end zone, and he does. He's stripped. It's a loose ball. It is picked up by Amy.
That's a touchdown.
And he is in. So Xavier Amy, touchdown.
Xavier Amy picks up his third TD.
Great job by Amy. Jolly on the spot. It started off with a great kick by the most interesting man in the world. And then Lighthouse gets the first tackle, gets the strip on it. And Amy does a great job of scooping it up and sliding into the end zone right there for the touchdown before he's touched. Great job.
Croft on to attempt the two-point conversion here. Seconds to go in this one. Take a look at the offensive huddle here. Gladiators got to hurry here. Just one timeout remaining. They had to burn the other two to avoid delays of game. That one's incomplete. The try's no good. It's intended for Amy. There on the coverage was Devontae Merriweather. And it's 57-34, Rattlers with 46 seconds to go. We'll be back.
I'm David C. Chavez. Just like you, we see terrible motorcycle, semi-truck, and car wrecks every day. We fight to win for you. I'm a top 10 nationally ranked injury attorney, but I'm still as local as red and green.
Fuego 505 has the best fired, exotic, and local meats served from the skewer or crafted into your favorite street taco by an award-winning executive chef. Come and see us today. Paletta Bar Tramway. Our palettas are high-quality pops and a delicious, healthy choice. Our refreshing flavors are the perfect treat for the summertime. Come and see us at 12501 Candelaria Road Northeast, Suite D. SIP means SIT, Albuquerque's dog training experts. We offer in-home dog and puppy obedience training. Contact us at 505-916-1748 to schedule a free dog training evaluation.
46 seconds to go here. 57-34. This is the Rattlers lead here. Makayo here to kick.
You called it, Sebastian. This is just around the average score, 50s to 30s.
Yeah, this is, if you look at the previous meetings, 52.5 to 31 is usually, that's what it averages out to. It's right around that here again. There has really never been a tight ball game between these two franchises. It's not like the Frisco series, right, where the Gladiators have never beaten Frisco either, but so many of those games have been entertaining down to the wire.
Right down to the wire.
This series has been the opposite.
They'll get it together. They're just a couple pieces away. But once they get it
50 to 28 was the 50 to 28, 43-21, 58-38, 53-14, 60 to 48, 51-36. Those are the 6 games that Powell has quarterbacked. He'll take Reyna will take a knee here, and that should do it here. They might have to do that one more time. We'll take a break after the conclusion of this one. We'll try to talk to the player of the game, Connor Taylor. And then we'll see what kind of mood Kevin Guy is in, see if he wants to grant us an interview. It's usually a coin flip. So we'll see how that goes. We'll take one more knee here, but it'll be another win for the Rattlers, and there's nobody, playing better football in the indoor football league right now than these Arizona Rattlers.
I don't know, I think the IFL should make these interviews like they do in the NFL. Like, I didn't have a choice to, I don't care if I was pissed off we lost. I had to go do the interview, or else I got fined.
57-34 is the final score. We'll be right back.
After the game, for the official after party at Buffalo Wild
Serving up the best pizzas, coffee beans, and grinders from our wood-fired oven, and handcrafted meals and lockers from our on-premises cookhouse. A fun and relaxed atmosphere.
Happy Father's Day to each and every one of the fathers out there. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You're cracking down Monday morning coffee, strong pouring everything you got into a paycheck Friday night.
Almost there, right here. Oh.
Gladiator.
And you just bursted through them every time. Talk about the holes you were seeing and the guys work up front to create those holes for you.
Oh yeah, everything I did was all on my big man. I told him I would make him right tonight, and we were able to make plays tonight.
Nobody playing better football right now than the Arizona Rattlers. And this is the time of the year where you want to be clicking. Talk about that.
Yeah, exactly that. We just want to keep this win streak going, go 1 week at a time, and just keep building into the playoffs.
We appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. Have a good one. Happy Father's Day.
All Rattlers from the opening kick tonight. That'll do it here at the Event Center. From all of us here on the ProView Networks team, good night from Rio Rancho.